They told you that fruit was nature's candy, a gift, the key to a long and healthy life. But what if I told you that some of these so-called gifts are silently, systematically destroying the very foundation you stand on? What if the food you believe is healing you is actually the architect of your weakness, stealing the power from your legs, your core, your connection to this earth? This isn't about a diet. This is about betrayal, a betrayal of trust in what you thought was pure. Stay with me until the very end of this journey. The eighth and final point is not a fruit you can hold in your hand, and understanding it will fundamentally shift the way you see your own strength, your own body, and your own future. This is the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. Grounding force. Before we speak of the poison, we must first understand the temple it seeks to defile. We must talk about your legs. Modern thinking has reduced them to mere machinery. We think in terms of muscles, tendons, bone density. We see them as tools to get from one chair to another. This is a profound and tragic misunderstanding. Your legs are not just limbs. They are your roots. They are your energetic connection to the earth itself. They are the conduits through which you draw stability, resilience, and the grounding force of the planet. When your legs are strong, it is not just your body that is stable, it is your mind, your spirit. You are unshakable because your foundation is secure. A person with strong legs walks through life differently. They meet challenges with a quiet confidence because they are physically and therefore spiritually grounded. They don't get knocked over by the winds of chaos, by the opinions of others, by the anxieties of the world. Their strength is not just in the muscle fiber, it is in their unwavering connection to what is real, to the ground beneath their feet. So when we talk about losing leg strength, we are not talking about a minor inconvenience of aging. We are talking about becoming unmoored. We are talking about losing our anchor in a storm. It is a slow, creeping disconnection from our own power source. And it is this disconnection that certain foods, certain energies disguised as fruits are accelerating at a terrifying rate. We have been taught to fear fats, to fear salt, but the true enemy has been hiding in plain sight, wrapped in the vibrant, innocent colors of nature. Sweet deception. The first on our list is perhaps the most beloved, the most common, and the most insidious. We're talking about the small, sweet jewels of the earth, grapes, and to a similar extent, sweet cherries. You eat them by the handful, thinking you are flooding your body with antioxidants. But what you are truly flooding it with is a tidal wave of unadulterated fructose, a form of sugar that the body, especially a mature body, struggles to process without consequence. This intense sugar rush causes a dramatic spike in insulin, and over time, this repeated assault leads to inflammation. Inflammation is the silent fire that burns within the body. It damages blood vessels, it irritates nerves, and it slowly degrades the cartilage in your joints, your knees, your hips, your ankles. They are all casualties in this sugary war, but the physical damage is only a mirror of a deeper, more profound spiritual error. Grapes represent the poison of instant gratification. They are the symbol of seeking easy, fleeting pleasure. In life, we are often tempted by the sweet deceptions, the quick fixes, the easy answers, the praise that costs us nothing, the comfort that requires no growth. We reach for these things like a handful of grapes, getting a momentary high, a burst of sweetness, but what follows is the crash, the energetic debt. True strength, the kind that settles deep in your legs and in your soul, is never built on instant gratification. It is built through consistent effort, through embracing challenges, through choosing the path of discipline over the path of indulgence. Every time you mindlessly reach for that which is easy and sweet, you are training your spirit to be weak. You are teaching your body that it does not need to work for its energy, that it can rely on external fleeting sources. This pattern of behavior erodes your resolve, your inner fortitude, far more than the sugar erodes your cartilage. You must become discerning about where you seek your sweetness, both on your plate and in your life. Tropical illusion. Next, we journey to the tropics, to the allure of the exotic. We speak now of mangoes and their close cousin in this deception, the pineapple. These fruits are the taste of vacation, of escape. Their flavor is complex, intoxicating, and undeniably powerful. and their sugar content is astronomical. A single mango can contain more sugar than some candy bars, and its glycemic index sends your blood sugar soaring. The acidity of pineapple, while containing beneficial enzymes in moderation, can be incredibly aggravating to a sensitive digestive system, contributing to a state of low-grade systemic inflammation which, as we've established, is the enemy of joint health and foundational strength. But the danger here is more subtle than just sugar and acid. The mango and the pineapple represent the tropical illusion. This is the deep-seated human fantasy that our happiness, our strength, and our healing exist somewhere else. If only I could move to a warmer climate. If only I had that other job. If only my life were more exciting, more exotic, more like a vacation. We consume these fruits and we are mentally transported to a fantasy land, a place where our problems don't exist. This is a dangerous mental habit. It prevents us from building strength right where we are, in the soil we are currently planted in. True, unshakable leg strength and the spiritual resilience it represents is built by facing the reality of your present circumstances. It is forged in the mundane, in the day-to-day discipline of your actual life, not in a daydream of a life you wish you had. The constant yearning for an escape, for a tropical paradise, weakens your resolve to deal with the here and now. It makes your own reality feel colorless in comparison. You start to believe your power is out there instead of in here. By indulging in this illusion, you are telling your spirit that this ground right here is not good enough to build on, and a spirit that believes that can never ever cultivate a truly strong foundation, acidic remorse. Let us now turn to the bright, cheerful glow of citrus. Oranges, grapefruits, even lemons in excess. We are told they are the key to vitamin C, the cornerstone of a healthy immune system, and in careful moderation, they can be. But for many, especially as the body systems become more sensitive with age, the high acidic load of these fruits is a hidden enemy. This acidity can disrupt the delicate pH balance of your body, forcing it to leach alkaline minerals like calcium from your bones in order to neutralize the acid. Your bones are the very framework of your legs. To weaken them is to attack the core structure of your foundation. This internal environment of high acidity also fosters inflammation, further attacking your joints and connective tissues. The spiritual parallel here is stark and unavoidable. Citrus fruits represent the energy of acidic remorse. This is the poison of holding on to old resentments, bitterness, and unresolved anger. These emotions are, in their very essence, acidic to the soul. They eat away at your inner peace. They corrode your sense of well-being, and they keep you locked in a state of internal agitation. A person consumed by bitterness cannot be grounded. Their energy is chaotic, sharp, and painful. Just as the physical acid leaches calcium from the bones, the emotional acid of resentment leaches the joy and strength from your spirit. You may think you are directing that anger outwards at the person who wronged you, but you are the one drinking the poison. You are the one housing that corrosive energy, and it is weakening you from the inside out. Your legs can only be as strong as the peace you carry in your heart. If you are carrying the acid of the past, you are dissolving your own foundation, one bitter thought at a time. Healing is not about condoning what happened. It is about choosing to stop allowing it to poison you right now in this present moment. Watery distraction. Now we consider a symbol of summer, of picnics, of simple refreshment, the watermelon. What could possibly be wrong with watermelon? It's mostly water after all, and that is precisely the point. It is mostly water and a surprising amount of sugar. It offers a feeling of fullness, of being satisfied, but it is an illusion. It provides very little in terms of dense nutrients, protein, or healthy fats, the true building blocks of muscle and tissue. It fills your stomach but does not truly nourish your body. It is in essence a watery distraction. It takes up space that could be used for something far more substantial. Its spiritual metaphor is one of the most critical for our modern age. The watermelon represents all the things in our lives that are voluminous but ultimately empty. The endless scrolling on social media that fills hours but leaves you feeling hollow. The binge watching of shows that entertain you but do not enrich you. The superficial relationships that occupy your social calendar but offer no genuine connection or support. These are the watermelons of our existence. They make us feel busy, they make us feel full, but they are not nourishing our core. They distract us from the real work, the work of building strength, of cultivating wisdom, of forging deep and meaningful bonds. Your energy and your time are finite resources. Every moment you spend on a watery distraction is a moment you are not investing in your own foundation. And over the years, this deficit adds up. You wake up one day and wonder why you feel so weak, so unfulfilled, so disconnected. It's because you have been filling your life with volume instead of substance. To reclaim your strength, you must become ruthless in identifying and removing the watery distractions from your life, making space for that which truly builds you from the ground up. Preserved past. Let us examine a category of fruit that is often marketed as a healthy snack, a convenient source of energy. We are talking about dried fruits, raisins, dates, prunes, dried apricots. The process of drying a fruit removes the water, concentrating everything else. This means the sugar content becomes extraordinarily high for their small size. They are sticky, dense packets of fructose that deliver a powerful blow to your blood sugar regulation and contribute yet again to that insidious, strength-sapping inflammation. But the physical reality is nothing compared to the spiritual truth they represent. Dried fruits are a metaphor for living in the preserved past. Think of what a dried fruit is. It is a fruit that is no longer alive. Its vibrant, watery life force has been removed, and what is left is a preserved, shrunken, overly sweet memory of what it once was. This is exactly what happens to us when we choose to live in our memories. We cling to the good old days, replaying our past glories, or we obsess over past hurts, nursing old wounds. We are living in a preserved version of reality, not the living, breathing, dynamic present moment. The past has no life force. It cannot nourish you. It cannot build new strength. It can only offer a concentrated and often distorted memory of sweetness or pain. Clinging to it makes you rigid. It prevents you from being flexible, from adapting, from growing new roots in the soil of today. You cannot build strong legs for the future if your mind is constantly walking the well-worn paths of yesterday. To be strong, you must be present. You must be willing to let go of the dried, preserved version of yourself and engage with the fresh, living, uncertain reality of now. That is where all your power resides. Blended confusion. We come now to a very modern invention, one that promises health, efficiency, and a shortcut to wellness. We speak of fruit smoothies and juices. On the surface, it seems like a brilliant idea. Blend all the goodness together and drink it down. But in this process of high-speed blending and juicing, we destroy one of the most crucial components of the fruit, the fiber. The fiber is the structure. It is the matrix that holds the fruit together, and more importantly, it is what slows down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. When you drink a smoothie or a juice, you are essentially mainlining fructose, bypassing your body's natural digestive processes and creating a massive metabolic stress. You get the sugar rush without the mediating effect of the fiber. You get the pleasure without the necessary work. This brings us to its devastating spiritual parallel, blended confusion. This represents the modern obsession with consuming wisdom without integration. We want the highlights, the summary, the life hack. We listen to podcasts at double speed. We read the summaries of great books. We watch short clips of profound teachings. We are creating a smoothie of information. We are consuming the sweet ideas without the fiber of context, without the struggle of deep contemplation, without the work of personal application. True wisdom, like true nutrition, requires you to chew on it, to break it down yourself, to sit with the difficult parts, the fibrous material that isn't easy or sweet. Strength is not built by consuming predigested truths. It is built in the personal struggle to understand. By constantly seeking shortcuts, we create a state of blended confusion in our minds. We have 1,000 ideas floating around, but no deep embodied understanding of any of them. We know a little about everything and have mastery over nothing. This superficiality makes us weak. We have no core principles to stand on, no deep well of wisdom to draw from when life gets hard. We become spiritually flimsy, just as our body becomes metabolically stressed from the fiberless sugar. Stop drinking the smoothie. Pick one piece of fruit, one truth, and chew on it for a long, long time. That is how you build a foundation that lasts. Cold barrier. The seventh entry on our list is not a type of fruit, but a state of being for any fruit. We are talking about frozen fruits. In many ancient healing traditions, including traditional Chinese medicine, which shares deep roots with the philosophies of Shaolin, cold and raw foods are seen as difficult for the digestive system to process. They require the body to expend a great deal of its own precious energy, its qi or life force, simply to warm them up to a temperature where they can be broken down. This constant expenditure of energy to combat internal coldness is believed to dampen the body's digestive fire, leading to sluggishness, poor nutrient absorption, and a feeling of heaviness. It puts a cold barrier between you and your nourishment. The spiritual metaphor here is one of profound emotional importance. Frozen fruits represent the cold barrier we build around our hearts. When we have been hurt, when we are afraid of being vulnerable, we freeze our emotions. We build a wall of ice. We become distant, aloof, detached. We believe this coldness is protecting us, but just like the frozen fruit, it is forcing us to expend a massive amount of our life force just to maintain that barrier. It isolates us from the warmth of genuine human connection, which is as essential for our spiritual health as nutritious food is for our physical health. This emotional coldness seeps into our being. It creates rigidity in our mind, in our opinions, and eventually in our bodies. It leads to a stiffness, a lack of flow. A body that is energetically cold and rigid cannot be strong and supple. The joints become stiff, the muscles tight. The life force cannot flow freely. To heal, to become truly strong, you must be willing to do the terrifying work of thawing. You must allow yourself to feel again, to risk connection, to let the warmth of life back in. Holding on to that cold barrier may feel safe, but it is a slow and certain path to becoming brittle, isolated, and weak, from your heart all the way down to your feet. Poisoned root. We have arrived at the end, and I promised you that the eighth and final point was not a fruit you could buy at the market. The eighth and by far the most destructive thing that is destroying your leg strength, your foundation, and your life force is a fruit of the mind. I call it the poisoned root. It is the fruit that grows from the toxic seed of a single pervasive belief. The belief that you are finished. The belief that says, I am too old. My best days are behind me. It's all downhill from here. I'm just not as strong as I used to be. This belief, this single thought, accepted as truth, is more potent than any sugar, more corrosive than any acid, more debilitating than any inflammation. Because once you accept it, your own mind begins to orchestrate your body's decay. When you believe you are weak, you stop doing the things that make you strong. You stop taking the longer walk. You avoid the stairs. You ask for help lifting something you could have lifted yourself. You stop challenging your body, and a body that is not challenged will inevitably, unfailingly, atrophy. This belief is the poisoned root from which all weakness grows. It is the ultimate self-fulfilling prophecy. You are feeding your own spirit a diet of limitation, and your body, in its infinite loyalty to your mind, has no choice but to obey. You can clear every single fruit we've mentioned from your kitchen, but if you do not eradicate this poisoned root from your mind, you will continue to grow weaker. It is the ultimate deception because it feels like a simple observation of reality, but it is not. It is a choice, a story you are telling yourself. Final insight. So you see, this was never really about fruit. The fruits were just mirrors. They are physical manifestations of the subtle poisons we allow into our lives every single day. The poison of instant gratification, the poison of escapism, the poison of resentment, the poison of distraction, the poison of living in the past, the poison of superficial knowledge, the poison of emotional coldness, and the ultimate poison of self-limiting beliefs. You don't need to live in fear of a grape or a mango. You need to live in a state of profound self-awareness. The question is not, what am I eating? The real question is, What am I feeding my spirit? Are you feeding it discipline or indulgence, presence or fantasy, forgiveness or bitterness, substance or distraction, the living now or the dead past, deep wisdom or blended confusion, warm connection or a cold barrier? Are you feeding your soul the belief that you are growing stronger or the belief that you are in decay? Your strength is not lost. It is not a treasure buried in your youth. It is waiting for you right now in your next choice. The choice to take the stairs, the choice to walk a little further, the choice to forgive, the choice to be present, the choice to learn something deeply, the choice to connect, and most importantly, the choice to believe in your own resilience. The ground beneath your feet is not just dirt and rock. It is a source of immense power waiting for you to decide to draw from it. Plant your feet right now, wherever you are. Feel that connection. Decide that from this moment forward, you are the architect of your strength, not a victim of your age. Your true foundation is not made of bone and muscle. It is made of choice. Stand tall on it.